Greetings everybody, Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. We have a short, quick one here. It is called the Council of Seven Nations. So we know that the Horde consolidated its power. The last one was called the Demon Soul. We learned that through the machinations of Deathwing, one, they were a big part of the reason why the humans lost the first war, or at least had no reinforcements. And two, they've now led the orcs to have control of the dragon soul / demon soul, because he believes, one, they can use it, dragons can't, and two, that he can kind of empower them to defeat all of the mortal races, so then he can just focus on killing the dragons. He wants everybody dead because he's an old god tool. All right, stay a while and listen to the Council of Seven Nations. As Lothar and Stormwind's refugees fled north, word of the city's destruction spread to other nations. Lordaeron's ruler, King Taranis Menethil II, was deeply shaken by the news. It had been difficult to sift fact from rumor. At first, the king had not even believed that the orcs were real. Now he knew they were a grave threat. When Stormwind survivors finally arrived in Lordaeron, Lothar told Taranis of the Horde's true might. He urged the king to gather the other human nations immediately. Without unity, he argued, the Horde would have no difficulty picking off each kingdom one by one. In time, the leaders of all the human nations gathered in Lordaeron's capital city, what will become the Undercity. There had not been such a gathering in recent memory. Joining Taranis and Lothar were King Gen Greymane of Gilneas, he's still a big part of things, Lord Admiral Dalen Proutmore of Kultiris, Archmage Antonidas of Dalaran, King Thoris Trollbane of Stromgarde, and King Aiden Perinold of Alterac. Perinold, that name is familiar. There's a Perinold tiara, so I don't know what happens with that. I feel like some of these people betray them. I think it's Perinold, that's the traitor. The Archmage Antonidas, I don't know if he's still a thing or not, but Dalaran, we know, separates itself. Thoris Trollbane, Stromgarde kind of goes crazy and defunct. Eventually, Gilneas, they separate themselves and come back. And Dalen Proudmoore, I believe, is Jaina Proudmoore's dad, and she inadvertently somehow causes him to die. There's that. If you watch the videos in BFA, it touches on. There's a storyline there that I'm a little bit murky on. I'm guessing Taranis dies. Menethil, I'm guessing something bad happens to him at some point in time. This occasion was deemed the Council of Seven Nations. At the outset, unity seemed to be a distant dream. Taranis called upon his fellow rulers to join together and form an unstoppable alliance of human nations. Now, it's the first time we're hearing that word. One that would eradicate the threat of the Horde and reclaim Stormwind for its survivors. So now we're going to have Alliance versus Horde for the first time. There was some interest. Archmage Antonidas, representing Dalaran's Kirin Tor, had heard first-hand accounts of the Horde from Khadgar. Proudmoore was friends with Anduin Lothar, and he believed that vengeance on behalf of the destroyed human nation was the correct course of action. Trollbane had a close relationship with Lordaeron, and he too was willing to fight. Yet Gilneas and Alterac were not so easily convinced. They openly expressed suspicion about whether creatures from another world had invaded at all. Deathwing's rumors had spread far beyond Lordaeron. They believed there must be some other explanation. While the Council of Seven Nations continued its meetings, the Horde prepared for war. Our second great war, which we will be playing through as we read a lot of these things. Just off the top of my dome, I believe Alterac does join and betray, and they're one of the, like, when you have these human-on-human missions that you're fighting them. I think Dalaran helps. I want to say the Kirin Tor are maybe purple. There's different factions. The Kultirans, I'm pretty sure, help. Gilneas does not. They're just bringing it up now, but remember, they decided to become separatist after a while. And we might get to that. I don't think that they're part of that first war. We'll find out more. Okay, so we're going to dip back over to the Horde preparing for war. At this point, we finished everything considered First War canon. Everything else is directly tied to the Second War. We're going to jump into a new chapter in Chronicles. And now that Lothar is on the scene, trying to convince them, we can officially start some of our books here. Okay, so this episode's in the pipes, 5x5. I thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.